I'm 19 Keys, and this is High Level Conversation. The library.
That type of freedom is paramount because there's too many strings attached to the money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you want money with no string.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want money to where I say what I want to say. I get it out the market.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, you don't get to control me, censor me, none of that. It's like, if we had a world where everybody was truly free, everything would be different. If you said what you really meant, if you operate in the way that you wanted to, we don't even have true individualism at all. This is just collective slavery, right? Everybody think they operate in individualism, but you're not being your true self. You're not saying what you really mean. You're still operating under this collective guise of what's acceptable in the terms of what it means to be different, right? And the true reality, right? A lot of people who would actually, if they was going with their true self, they would be in line with more traditional and conservative ideas that are in their mind. But because that you're caught up in this world that's constantly pushing things on you, and you know that you need to assimilate, which means to speak and act like people around you so that you can get along, that you conform to ideas that are not your own and that you truly don't believe in.
I don't want to stop you. One of the amazing things that prison did for me was allow me to bask in isolation. It allowed me to not be around people and be okay with that. And that has been my superpower on this journey. And it's nothing against nobody. I got love for everybody. But even my team be like, I like that you don't gotta be out all the time. I like that you don't gotta be at all the stuff. And I be like, I can't. I'm okay. I understand that we on a mission. And it's gonna require me to be at home sometimes, reading this book for 2-3 days in a row so I can get it how I want it. Understand I need to read this again because he said something that I really didn't understand. And I can't do that if I'm out, even though I don't drink. Just being out, that's a 3 hours. That's a 3-4 hour joint, right? So for me, it's being able to thrive in isolation, because what happens is we'll get in isolation and feel like we're missing something. We'll get in isolation and we don't even like to sit with ourselves.
Right. A
lot of people don't like those thoughts that they have when nothing is going on. This is why during the pandemic, so many people had to go to therapy because they realized, I'm in a relationship that I should have never been in. I'm in a marriage that I should have never been in. The only reason we've been in the marriage so long is because I got a job, she got a job. We're only dealing with each other a couple hours a day. So we never sit alone with those thoughts and let those thoughts cultivate. Yo, who am I? Like, what makes me love? What makes me hate? What makes me disappointed? What makes me sad? What makes me cry? What motivates me? What makes me happy? What inspires me? We never sit down with those thoughts. And as men, it is extremely important for us to sit down with those thoughts because we have to have the balance.
That's a fact.
We have to have that balance. It's okay for us to be emotionally intelligent. It's okay for us to be vulnerable sometimes. It's the only way that we can be true masters of this vessel that we got. This vessel is supposed to be mastered, but yet so few men master it. Most men, we walk around in this vessel that we've been have, in this dirt suit, in this mud suit, whatever you want to call it. We walk around with it, waiting to be dictated instead of waiting to lead.
That's a fact.
And because of that, how can we lead a family? How can we be great men? How can we lead great? How can we lead women? How can we lead kids? How can we be financially free? How can we be pioneers? How can we be trailblazers? How can we be Fred Hampton? How can we be Malcolm X? How can we be Dr. Sebi? How can we be those men? We talking about Mandela. We talking about men who are free. Who are free. They asked Mandela, how did you do 27 years? He said, what do you mean? How did I do it? I had two options. Either I can take this 27 years and let it hurt me, or I can take these 27 years and cultivate how to lead my country when I get out. That's a different type of man.
And that also goes towards your intention and your utility with everything. Because it was funny. Forgot who I was talking to. And I was telling them I'm about to go somewhere. And I'm telling them, like, this is business, right? And they like, no, just have fun. I'm like, no, I gotta go. I'm gonna have 3 contests. There's gonna be 3 opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, They talk about just go in there and relax. Just like, no, I'm not doing that whatsoever.
Right.
I'm literally going in there with an idea and some goals. Like, we're going to get a sponsor here. We're going to meet this person. We're going to get 3 of these. So everybody is in the same room, but they not in the same room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They not in the same space. They not in there for the same reasons. And this is why you have to be dangerous, or it's dangerous to just follow people, because you don't know why they putting themselves in that situation. Right? So you like, oh shit, I want to be in that room, but that room is not valuable to you because you don't have enough value to be in that room yet. You know what I mean? So you step in there and nobody sees you. Right? So that isolation, you need to spend that time alone. So when you step outside, you have value in your presence. But if you disappear, nobody knows. It shows you that there was no value in your presence because your absence is not noted. So the value is saying that, listen, you go through, darkness is a womb for, production. It's where you create yourself, right? I know for a fact that when I spend that time in that research mind, a different mind. It's cold calculating, it's putting together ideas. I'm studying some stuff now that I'm finding super interest in because I be going through information. Then sometimes something hit me like, wait a minute. And this is why I was telling you about the 20s and 30s. I like that period of time because there was so much philosophical introduction to all these different ideas, right? And we in a philosophical recession. People don't posit ideas. People don't really observe outward. There's an expression as the cosmic man. The cosmic man looks for events beyond just the world that he lives in. He connects himself to space and time. Right? He understands that, even in the stock market, they go look at, lunar and solar events and find correlations between data and cycles on how people react during high times of cosmic activity that's going on in the sun and how there's a relation with financial, the financial cycles that we go through as human beings. So when you can look outward, because man gets so stuck, this was happening in my hood, this is who I am, and these events affect me, and that's the only thing I'm paying attention to. Then another man say, this was happening in my world, right? This is what's going on politically, this was going on socially, right? This was going on with the environment, this is the stuff I care about, right? And then another person say, this was going on in the universe. You know what I'm saying? This was going on with the new inventions and the findings about dark matter, and this is what the new solar activity and the planetary alignments. So when you look at men from the 20s and 30s, they wasn't just focused, the great minds, they wasn't just focused on local activity. They was focused on cosmic activity and our connection to that cosmic activity and the timeline of human history and where we at. So they was depositing higher thinking to the world, right? And so we would design as if the world was going into progress. We don't design a world as if the human mind is progressing. We do have a world where technology is progressing, but the human is eroding. So we would have beautiful buildings and designs, and you would look at the NBA logos were better. Everything was better. But now there are tools and mechanisms designed for control, right? It's not designed so that you can see the world and get enmeshed in its beauty and say, yo, I want to become more than what I am. Because that's not the thing that you aspire a slave for, right? Especially a slave that now had tools to become that inspiration. So you don't ever want that slave to be inspired to become more than what you need them to be so that they can work for you under servitude and to have limited progress until you sell them that it's okay. It's not progress at all. If somebody controls, right, the speed at which you grow, right, then that's not true growth. So because by the time you grow into that next level, right, the world is beyond where you need to be. So you have to always posit that thinking into yourself and get beyond man's activity, get beyond your local activity, get beyond your relationship activity, get beyond just your government, political activity. You have to be tapped into the universal activity and understand the alignment that you need to be as a man and a woman in the cosmos of time. No, look. This right here, crazy. Disclaimer, Don't take this if you don't want to have a super day. I think it got way too much of each ingredient in here, especially the lion's mane and the black seed oil and the MCT oil and the cannabinoids. This had me up all night and I was just knocking out everything. Got to the point I ain't even got nothing to do tomorrow. If you want to like spread out your week in a week, don't take this. If you want to knock out a week in a day, this right here will have you going. This is like Viagra for the brain. You ever wake up and you got limp brain, you feel mentally dry and you don't feel inspired and you ain't got what is required for you to go climb that tower of the day and knock everything down? Don't take this, because this will have you pound for pound ready to go Mike Tyson rounds. You know what I'm talking about? This Supermind right here is the best thing that I've ever had in my life, but I think it may be too much for the average person. Or maybe we need to put a disclaimer that this is extreme, because this right here, man, I feel like I can do anything. Literally anything. Yeah, this too much. This too much. This too much. Come on. What else we got to get done, man? Send me the whole agenda. Let's do everything today. We shooting for 24 hours today. I ain't stopping. And y'all think I'm playing. Y'all better take some as well. Matter of fact, here you go. Yeah, you take some because I'm working. Non-stop. Ain't no cut. Let's go.
I'm 19 Keys, and this is high level conversation. The library.